Hello and welcome back to the Impression Wiz channel. I'm your host, the Impression Wiz, and welcome back to pesterquest. And not only just pesterquest, but the second half of the beta Kids and Trolls, where we're going to be finishing up Jade. The last time I only got one episode recorded, so I ended up having to save before we continued on to this episode. And it's been a while for me recording, because that was in April, and it is now May for me recording. But some things have kind of come up for me since then that I haven't gotten a chance to play, so this will actually be recorded just the day before I end up uploading the video, so that'll be interesting. And I'll try to keep up better, but I've just been having some personal things, so off of the whole personal things from myself to probably personal things with Jade. What a segue. You should do something to cheer her up. Challenge Beck for superiority or explore. I'm gonna try challenging Beck for superiority. Here we go. It seems to you that the cause of Jade's problems, even though he's probably not hurting her on purpose, is Becquerel. He's a good dog and he just wants to protect her, but the time for that has passed. Jade has a new omniscient friend in her life, and she's got places to be besides this island. There's only one thing for you to do. You need to establish yourself as the new alpha of the pack. You must win the right to escort Jade to visit her friends. This is how dogs work, right? Yeah, it is. It definitely is, you think. You square up, bend your knees, and tense your palms. What are you doing? Oh. You don't worry about it. Or don't you worry about it, you tell Jade. You're practically an expert in Lucis wrangling techniques by now. In what techniques? She shouts behind you, but you're already charging. Beck doesn't see it coming at all, perhaps because it's a spectacularly stupid thing to do. You go tumbling to the ground with him and manage to pin him. You know exactly what to do now. There's only one possible course of action, and it has been incalculated with such mimetic gravity that you are entirely certain it will work as intended. Punch Beck in the snout to establish superiority, and that's the only choice I have. Oh no. I already knew it was going to be a bad idea. You punch Beck in the snout to establish superiority, and immediately realize it's not working as intended. He snarls and flares up neon green, energy crackling around his body. You wince as heat washes over you as if you just opened an oven door, and your arm hairs stand stiff with an electric terror. What were you thinking? This is a fight you can't win! Oh no. Beck lunges at you and sinks his fangs into you. You yelp, pain splitting your sight, radioactive fire roaring up your arm. You yank yourself away and instinctively try to teleport, but as you disappear, Beck's teeth catch your shoulder and hold on tight. Image. Image BGCE. Image by... Get me the out of here not found. I can't read it because of... Well, you see. The two of you go hurtling through the nothingness, and you're pretty sure your left blood splatter on meta-narrative constructs, like a website scroll bar or the Ren PY debug screen or some shit. Eventually you come exploding back into cannon and bounce off a purple spire with an ungainly smack, dislodging Beck in the process. You tumble onto the bridge and scatter some dudes in goofy jester outfits, and Beck lands in front of you. Good boy? Can we call it even? Can we call it even here? He snarls and green flames crackle the stone beneath his feet. So much for that. You throw up your arms in front of your face and squeeze your eyes shut as Beck lunges again. But you don't feel the sting of his fangs against your flesh. Instead, you feel the singular odd sensation of your body passing right through Beck's, as though you have just had a window thrown at you, like a reverse defenestration. Refenestration? Unrefenestrate? Yeah. The world beyond your eyelids strobe green, and then you open your eyes and you find yourself staring into a massive Verdian sun. The green sun. I don't have the abilities to add the echo unless I really want to add it in there, but I might not. I probably won't. You think that when Beck went in for the kill, you must have phased through him as his powers surged? It was pure dumb luck. You can't imagine what kind of precise timing it would take to pull that off on purpose. The good news is that you're alive, but the blood loss is really doing a number on you, and you can't focus your powers. Your vision flickers at the edge, and there's a ringing in your ears, louder than the flickering flames of the sun. You only just barely hear a voice from behind you as your eyes glaze over. Who's this douchebag? Solix, be nice. Oh, I probably shouldn't have given him a lisp. Oh well, Solix, be nice. Thanks, Sans. I should have really turned my volume down on my phone for that. Apologies on that. Solix, be nice. This douchebag looks very injured. I think they're going to have to restart and try again. Better luck next time. Ooh. Yep, I figured it was those two. And technically I shouldn't have given Solix the lisp that time, but it's sometimes hard not to. Game over. Well, at least I hope, Radia, you take care of the body fairly well. You're good at this death party thing. Anyway, let's since that was the fail, let's go back in. Explore. You present your most finely honed smile of confidence and urge Jade to stand. This is no time to mope around. There is plenty of fun to be found without leaving this island. You suggest that perhaps with your help, you can give her the opportunity to explore that temple she's always been curious about. Really? That would be super fun! But what about Beck? Oh, there's nothing to worry about there. You have a genius plan, you tell her. You tell her to just head on over to the temple and you'll take care of the rest. Why do I have a feeling that this might be similar to what just happened in the last choice? Okay, if you say so, but please don't do anything to hurt Beck, okay? I love him to bits. You wouldn't dream of it. Not on this route, at least. Jade transportalizes downward, and you turn your attention to Beck, who is idly sniffing one of Jade's plants. You advance on him slowly and with intent. You know what must be done. Oh, pet the dog. That's a good one. That's a good choice. You just get right in there. You pet the hell out of this dog. You employ all of your strongest pamper techs, like the quick stretch up, the main massage, and the rare Cuddlebrain X Dog Smite. Somewhere in this distance, a bluebird observes your masterful display and chirps happily. But suddenly, Beck's head snaps up, and he points his snout in the direction of the temple. Whoa, whoa, whoa there, buddy. Now, no time to be thinking about Jade. Now is Belly Scritch's time. You start rubbing Beck's stomach, and he flops onto his back, with his tail wagging and his feet curled up. Who's a good boy? Beck looks up at you, and you see the cosmos reflected in his deep, piercing eyes, and you understand. He's a good boy, and he knows it. After a while longer spent threading your fingers through his silky fur, Beck curls up beside you and yawns, starting to nod off. You kiss him on the forehead, and then take the opportunity to slowly stand up and exit the room, letting the sleeping dog lie. Oh well. Excuse me. You're a little worried about alerting Beck by using your powers. He seems to be pretty keyed in to that kind of space-time manipulation, so you just take the long route to the temple. Jade's Island is a very beautiful place with rolling hills and lush sun-bathed plains, not plants. It looks like an excellent vacation destination, but it is also so bare. There's nothing and nobody around except for the hollow whispers of the wind. You can see how this place would feel much less like paradise after years spent stranded here. When you reach the lake surrounding the temple, you see that the giant lily pads outside have arranged themselves into a walkway that you can use you can use it, reach it. Okay, that's a weird sentence right there. That's not me. How strange and convenient. I'll just go ahead and apologize for any loud sounds in the background. That's really not my fault. I'm sorry. You channel your inner frog and hop across. Hey! Up here! Jade calls down to you. She's at the temple entrance far above your head, waving down at you. Groves carved into wall form a ladder. Then you can. Okay, they have some spelling mistakes. That's not me. That you can use to climb up. And soon after, you are standing beside her at the entrance of the temple. A huge, imposing archway marks the ingress between this sunny island and the dark interior of the ruin. From within, you can see a faint yellow-green glow that seems to come from runes carved in the walls. Spooky. As you proceed through the entryway, Jade runs a hand alongside the glowing walls, her face bathed in the sickly green. At the end of the hallway is a large round platform decorated with cloudy designs and a glowing orb at the center. It does pique your inner interior decorator, but Jade seems quite awed by the sight. This is Skya. I knew this temple had to be connected to that world in some way. Jade rushes onto the platform and it begins to descend. You quickly follow her before you're left behind as the elevator takes you down to the expansive and dark room below. Ooh, much like the rest of the temple, the space seems very sparse and it is illuminated by the faint green glow or the faint glow of the runes on the walls. A large purple lotus flower rests atop a pedestal in front of the elevator. Petals wilted. That seems oddly familiar, and there's also 413. There's an electronic display built into the pedestal, with a timer that could feasibly count down for millions of years, but it seems to be glitched, stuck at a few hours away from zero, with the second digit constantly ratcheting back and forth between two numbers. Jade places a hand on the pedestal and sighs. The number's stuck. I think this is a time capsule, but it's malfunctioning for some reason. Was I supposed to open it when the time was right? Now I'll never know. What else could this place be hiding from me? As if on cue, the elevator platform shudders and begins to rise behind you. As the platform ascends, it becomes clear that there is a pit beneath it, which is basically video game logic 101. Jade looks down into it, and you follow suit and see. Transportalizers? There's two of them, one a deep purple and the other a brilliant gold. Oh. Jade leaps down into the pit, which is a pretty brave maneuver because it's deep as hell and real life still has fall damage. Still has fall damage. Blah, blah, blah. Real life, yeah. She grunts and sinks her to her knees from the impact, but quickly recovers and rushes over to the golden transportalizer. She examines it for a moment and then clambers on. With a soft click, the pressure plate is depressed and the device surges to life. She disappears in a bright flash of light. Well, shit, you better follow her. You hop down and step onto the portalizer, and the same flash of light consumes your body. This is a lot of gold. You feel something like wind whipping around you as your molecules are dematerialized and then reassembled in a new location, a locale. A glimmering gold palace. Wow, this place is way too fucking bright. Someone needs to crank the saturation down pronto. I don't believe it. Jade is looking around with wide eyes that reflect your golden surroundings. This is it! This is Prospect, the planet I visited in my dreams. I didn't think it was possible to get here like this. What does it mean? Why am I allowed to be here right now? I should go talk to the Queen. Off she goes, and with that, she's off, sprinting down the halls with a renewed sense of vigor. You scramble to keep up with her, threading your way through crowds of confused white, shelled folks in fancy outfits. They kind of remind you of yourself, but with chitinous bodies. Blah, blah, blah. You sidestep a lady carrying a paint can and shuffle down the lady Miss Paint. MS Paint. And shuffle down a lengthy golden staircase adorned with regal golden spikes. And you can only barely keep your eyes on Jade's long black hair as it swishes behind her. When you finally catch up, she's in the middle of an argument with two blurry fellows in white suits. She stamps her foot at them, but they are undeterred, blocking her passage further. Eventually, Jade wheels around to look at you. She tries to soften her expression for your sake, but her face is still sour. The guards won't let me see the Queen. Apparently, she's really busy with something. They told me I'm not supposed to be here and that I have to leave right away. This is total bull. I'm a princess. I swear some of these idiots can't even recognize me without the pretty golden dress. Blah. I guess I'm not getting any answers here either. Let's just get out of here. And she's off again, this time striding forward with her fists curled and her jaw set. You glance back at the guards, whose furrowed brows strike you more as worried than ire, and then follow Jade back. You're almost to the exit when you see it, a dark figure silhouetted against Skaya's brilliant blue. They are humanoid and shaped with two leathery wings outstretched and inky black tendrils trailing behind. Crimson force crackling in their wake, and they swoop over the city like a bird of prey. Something about them gives you a major case of the heebie-jeebies. You do a nervous little half-jog back to the transportalizer and get the hell out of Dodge. That's, I think Jack Noir with the ring, if I remember. The temple feels oppressively dark compared to the blinding bright of Prospect. With a sneeze, excuse me. You spend a while blinking as your eyes readjust. Ooh, the transportalizer you just used flares up red and then cracks. That's probably not a good sign, is it? You do what you do best. Ignore it and climb out of the pit. Jade is standing beside the Lotus contraption, running her hands along one of the pedals with her face set. What does all of it mean? Was this here all along? Has my grandpa been to Prospect before? If I can go there, then it must still exist. The game must still exist, but how? None of it makes any sense. I need to think about this. You follow Jade slowly back to her house as she mumbles to herself, brows furrowed. You can't barely catch what she's saying, but she's clearly thinking hard. The clouds have never been wrong before. Is it too early? Was this meant to happen? Once you reach the atrium, Jade lets out a sharp breath and nods her head, resolute. She turns to you. All right, I think I understand. I know what's going on now. Great, you offer her your most winning smile. What's the sitch? Well, the truth is I was always being very immature about the idea of being a hero and having a destiny. Life isn't like in kids' cartoons after all. Heroism isn't all rainbows and sunshine, and it's childish to think that everyone gets a happy ending. That kind of story stuff doesn't really exist. To be a real hero, you have to be prepared to suffer horribly. It makes sense when you think about it. If everything came easy, there wouldn't actually be anything heroic about it. Why else would my grandpa have put me on this island? Why else would Beck want to keep me safe here even now that everything's changed? It's because it's my destiny. I have to prove that I'm willing to suffer and willing to sacrifice. That has to be it. This can't all have been for nothing, right? That's not the way the world works. Everything has a purpose, even if it's not clear at first. Sorry, I was distracted by sounds. Seeing Prospect in the flesh reminded me of that. And that would be the washing machine squeaking. I apologize for that in the background. My purpose is to do what I've always done, what my grandpa and Beck have helped me prepare for. I know I'll be really lonely, but in the end it means that everything will continue to play out the way it is meant to be. Or meant to. It's a very noble job, and I've got to be the one to do it. You're at a loss for words. This really doesn't feel like the right takeaway from this, but you don't know jack about Spurb or Destiny or any of that nonsense. So who are you to say otherwise? So thank you for helping me visit Prospect. I wouldn't have figured this all out if not for you, and I'm sure that meeting me is one step along the way towards your mysterious fate as well. I will be rooting for you. Jade erupts in a broad, beaming smile. It might be the first completely genuine smile you've seen from her this entire time, but that doesn't make you feel any better about it. In fact, it's more of a knife twisting in your gut, and when she throws her arms around you and hugs you tight, the knife pushes deeper into the bone. Well, you probably have more important stuff to do than help keep hanging out with me. I'll let you get back to it. Jade turns around and heads for the staircase, leaving you to stare at her retreating form. Is this it? Will you accept the new destiny you've written for Jade and allow her to stay trapped here on this island? Is this it? Nope. Some people might take this as a lesson in the reasonable use of reality-altering powers. Some people might swear off manipulating canon entirely, but not you. What's the point of having sick-ass powers at all if you never use them? Maybe some god is going to punish you for the way you've been fucking with the universe, but right now you don't care. This girl would burn herself to ashes to keep her friends warm. The least you can do is risk the flame for her sake. You quickly sprint up the stairs. Oh, you're not leaving? Don't you have places to be? I'll be fine here alone, I promise. It's my duty. I'll get used to it eventually. You can't imagine she's okay with that, no matter what she says. Does she really want to stay alone for the rest of her life? Well, of course not. What I want to do is explore the world and hang out with all of my pals. But it's not about what I want, it's about doing what has to be done. That's what it has always been about for me. Well, that's bullshit. Huh? Maybe Jade's fate dictates she'll never play the game she wanted to play. Maybe heroes don't get a happy ending, but that doesn't mean heroes can't be happy. There comes a time in every young woman's life, you tell Jade, where she can't leave home because her pet is an overprotective god. Okay, that's obviously not true, but comes a time in many young women's lives where circumstances beyond their control leave them without an escape. Perhaps is easier to believe that than escape will never come. But you can't let Jade do that. When life has you stuck, at home perhaps, you can still hold on to hope. You can fight. No matter how long have to wait, you can keep looking for another chance to see the world. And if the universe tells you to sit, stay, and roll over, you look at the universe dead in the eye and ask, who do you think is the master around here? And then you tell it to motherfucking heal. Yeah, you're right. Even now, I was still being childish. It was easier to tell myself to be miserable for a noble cause instead of holding on to hope and maybe getting hurt again. But I have to have hope. That's who I am. I am Hoper. I'm a hoper, not a moper. I will keep trying to convince Beck that it will be safe for me to leave the island. Things have changed and maybe he doesn't realize it yet. He's kind of a silly dumb dog at times, but he loves me and I love him and we can work it out. Maybe it'll take a while, but I'll definitely figure things out. And while I wait, you'll come visit me sometimes, won't you? Of course you will. And you're not in the habit of abandoning your friends. And the idea is unthinkable. You promised Jade that you will come visit her. Come visit? Come visit! Light bulb goes off in your head. A light bulb goes off in your head. One of those cool LED light bulbs. The kind that syncs up to your phone and changes colors and spies on you for the government. Party time. I know exactly what his plans are. You ask Jade if she's ever had a slumber party. A slumber party? No, I've never had one. It sounds exciting, but is it really a party if there's just two people and a dog? That sounds more like a mild slumber hangout. Don't worry about it, you tell her. Just start getting the place ready for a bash. Pull out the sleeping bags, conjure up some lightly irradiated snacks, pump up the fresh jams, etc., etc. I don't know if we even have sleeping bags, but okay, I'll see what I can do. Maybe there's something useful in my grandpa's old supplies. You shoot her a confident salute, and then dissolve into the ether of cannon. All right, Egbert, up and at 'em. It's time. It's party time. John yelps and tumbles out of his chair, crashes to the ground in an undignified heap. It looks like he was in the middle of debugging some code on his computer when you interrupted him. He disentangles his limbs and stands up with a groan. Okay, Magic Mailman. We need to get something straight. Your powers are extremely cool, but using them like this is kind of lame. Jump scares rank very low on the prank scale. They don't take any effort. They are just sort of mean and annoying. You apologize for scaring John. You're just in a very excited mood right now because it's time for a motherfucking slumber party. Oh, cool. I've never been to a slumber party before. Who's it with? You grin. Don't you already know who with, John? The American Association of Mailmen? Oh gosh. You give him a blank stare. Really, John? Oh, right. Probably my other friends. That one should have been obvious. Yes, John, it should have been, and I would pat him on the head, but there you go, John. You tell him to pack up whatever supplies he thinks he should bring, and then get ready for another whirlwind ride through space-time. I don't know. I should probably do the responsible thing and let my dad know I'm going on a trip, even if I will be back soon. Okay, that's fine, you tell him. But don't take too much time. This route already is getting pretty long. Thank you for trying to keep it short. Weird time-traveling thing. Cool, okay. What should I bring? Oh, I need to bring some movies, definitely. Dave will be there, right? I should bring some McConaughey movies, so he realizes I was right all along about Matthew Steller's acting. Oh, and of course some snacks. This is a great time for me to unload all of my excess birthday cakes my dad made me. Seriously, there are hundreds of them in the fridge. It is highly ridiculous. Whew. You wait patiently in John's room as he goes downstairs to fetch his bounty of cakes, talk to his dad, and do all of his other preparations. It takes forever. You're not really sure what he's doing down there. You think he might be walking around examining all the objects in his home in great detail and solving a bunch of puzzles. Come on, John. That's not the right genre of game. Get your shit together. Okay, ready. Yes, I'm going to do sound effects. I think I've done that before, but I'm going to do them. Alright, step 2 is to go get Rose. You take John's hand and zap the two of you into Rose's mansion. John spends a while goggling at the giant statue of Zazurpan the Learned. Then you ascend the staircase towards Rose's room and knock on the door. Her voice comes from within, slightly muffled. You're home early. I've been hearing strange noises from the neighboring lab of late. Have you... Rose opens the door and freezes. John? Her eyes widen as she slowly steps backwards, which John takes as an invitation to stride into her room. Her cheeks darken as she scans the room, eyes flickering from mess to mess. Surprise, Rose! We are here to steal you away, like the owl who kidnapped Harry Potter. That's not... She sighs and turns to you. Care to explain the sudden intrusion? It is normally considered polite to call ahead, especially when one is possessed of reality-bending powers. Oh, don't be melodramatic. There's probably nothing too embarrassing in this room. John furrows his brow as he glances around the room, eyes sweeping over the walls. He eventually settles on some pictures that have been hung up. I mean, look at these great drawings. Did you do those? That is so cool. I didn't know you drew stuff. Rose gives him a smile of a girl whose soul was just shriveled into a blackened husk. Again, an explanation would be nice. You explain that you have come to collect Jade's friends for a slumber party. I see. The commercial and critical failure of Suburb must have impacted her more strongly than I anticipated. She was really looking forward to playing that game with us. Yeah, that's putting it lightly. Probably. I would hate to disappoint her further. Consider this my RSVP. Rose gives you a curt nod and then turns to frown at John, who is poking around under her bed. Something tugs at the corner of her mouth. John, my mother is busy and will not be expecting to return for a while. Why don't you and our strange friend go analyze her room instead? I need time to pack. Oh, okay, Rose. Whatever you say. Rose shoves you out of the room with more strength than you expected from a 13-year-old girl and shuts the door. Man, I hope Rose realizes that I was being serious when I said her drawings were good. We tease each other a lot, but she's really cool. John speaks loudly enough that Rose can almost certainly hear him from the other side of the door. You think he knows that, but you don't say anything except to casually suggest that you and John go wait downstairs and admire all the ridiculous wizard art. He agrees. God, this house is so weird. Who needs a giant statue of a wizard? Where did they even get this? Oh, And speaking of weird, I didn't want to bring this up with Rose in case it's just some funny story I'm not in on, but what's with all the writing on her? But John trails off as Rose descends the stairs with a neatly packed bag. Shall we? We shall, you say. With a hand on each of their shoulders, you close your eyes and concentrate on the Strider apartment. Vroom. You're aiming for the hallway outside the front door, but this power is still taking some getting used to, so you instead pop into existence right on top of Dave's bed. He's tapping away at something on his computer, and as soon as you appear, his entire body tenses up. You've barely had the moment to react before Dave wheels around in his chair and flinging a handful of shurikens at you. One of them grazes Rose's cheek so closely a strand of pale hair flutters to the ground. She turns to look at the weapon now embedded in the wall and runs a finger along the edge of the blade, squinting. Oh, Jesus, shit! What the fuck, man? Surprise! Okay, rule 1 of time travel or dimension hopping, don't fucking pull this kind of shit. I mean, seriously. Under any other circumstances, I'd be shitting my fucking nuts off right about the opportunity to chill with my best bro. But dude, you can't just drop a guy's bestie in the middle of his room out of nowhere like this. This is an extreme social faux pas. You gotta give a guy some time to prepare. Don't be melodramatic, Dave. I assure you, there is nothing present in this room that could make us think lesser of you. If Rose was scarred by that near-death experience just now, she doesn't show it. She hops off the bed and glances around. If you left any pornography out, it will only serve to confirm the hypothesis I have already made. Dude, are these selfies? Are you doing the duck face in this one? Oh man. Oh, for fuck's sake, John. You get a VIP all-access backstage pass, and the first thing you do is insult my stuff? Like some rowdy tool at the Nickelback concert rummaging through their closets instead of doing the music world a favor and assassinating them? Well, yeah. You would do the same, dude. Touché. But anyway, aside from you getting your grubby hands all over my pristine collection of cool swords, what the hell are you all doing here? We're having a slumber party. Are you in? Oh, I don't know. Bro is basically always keeping tabs on me. Guy wants me to be safe, you know. Or rather, wants me to only be in the right kind of danger to teach me lessons about irony and being a dope-ass fucking ninja master. It's all some pretty intense supervision is the point being made here. Was already getting some rank vibes from him after that little jaunt over to Olive Garden. Actually, the vibes have been off ever since John's B-Day, if I'm being honest. So I don't know how he'd feel about me gallivanting off on some magic snooze adventure with Slappy the time-traveling mailman. Hey! Seems like kind of the thing he'd take issues with. Aw, come on, he can't be that bad. What kind of guy wouldn't let his brother go hang out with his friends? Yeah, I guess. Be a pretty shitty kind of guy if he did that, wouldn't he? Dave stares off into the middle distance for a while. Rose observes him intensely. Look, Dave, I don't think it would feel right if we all had a big slumber party and you weren't there. Jade would really miss you. As would we. Yeah! Dave glances furtively around the room as if he's expecting a camera to blink at him from up in one of those corners. Alright, I'm in. Let me grab some subs. That's supplies for short. Hey, mailman. What's Jade's hell dog like? I need to bring one of those cool-ass swords? Cool? These swords are like $5 Chinatown swords, aren't they? What? No. Okay, listen. While Dave grabs his stuff and John heckles him affectionately, Rose's attention has been drawn back to the shuriken Dave threw at her. You stroll over and ask her what's up. She responds with her own question. Have you been introduced to Dave's brother? Not yet. You've heard a lot about him, though. For the sake of diplomacy, you've only briefly touched on the opinion you've formed. He certainly seems like a fascinating man. The kind of individual whose brain I would love to pick apart, to find out just what twisted mechanisms fire off within its chambers. So that's what she's thinking about Dave's bro. Rose chews her bottom lip. Not exactly, but an adjacent topic. I'm mulling over the ethical quandaries presented by the existence of powers exterior. What? It's nothing to concern yourself with yet. We have a party to attend to, apparently. Right. Dave is done packing up. You open both palms and suggest that everyone holds hands so you can best channel your powers. Really? We're holding hands? God, this is so lame. But he does it, and when he clasps John and Rose's hands, he shifts around and blushes faintly in a manner that suggests he doesn't really think it's so lame. In fact, he may think it is the opposite of lame. He may think it is rad. And he'd be right. Friendship is the raddest thing of all time. Of them all. I still stand by the all-time thing, but... Your full and warm and fuzzy friend feeling as you teleport back to Jade's Astrum. Aterium. Blah, blah. Wait, no. That's just the feeling of your body dissolving and reconstructing itself halfway across canon. They are very similar feelings. You head to the base of the staircase where you call out to Jade. Her guests have arrived, you tell her. Jade rushes down the stairs and nearly trips over her skirt. Her expression is tight and anxious, and when she sees her motley crew standing there, she freezes up. Her breathing hitches in a half sob. You really did bring them. They're here. You're all here. Jade breaks into a wide grin and sprints forward, launching herself like a missile at her friends. Dave throws himself bodily out of the way, and Rose takes an alarmed step back, leaving John to bear the full brunt of her affections. She crashes into him, and the two of them go spinning around, and as Jade laughs breathily. Whoa, calm down there, Jade. It's nice to see you too. Tears are beating in her eyes as she squeezes him tight, and then pecks his cheek with a soft kiss. And John, I'm so happy to see you in person. In waking person and everything. I've spent so much time watching you sleep. Haha. What? Jade swings around and looks at her other two pals. Come on, you two. Come on, you two too. Get over here. Here we are having a 4 times hug combo right now. I kind of like how Dave just... Rose and Dave cautiously step forward, and Jade, with John's help, yanks them both into a tight embrace. She smooches them on the cheeks too. Rose's face lights up with a blush, and Dave nearly goes catatonic. When Jade pulls back, she clutches John's hand and tugs so hard she might pull the damn thing off. Come on, everyone, let's go upstairs. I found a bunch of military-grade sleeping bags and Grandpa's old adventure gear and set them up in my room. We can play with all of my toys and jam out to some music and stay up all night chatting with each other and oh my god. You're here, you're all here, this is really happening. Jade's next laugh verges on hysterical as she's got tears streaking down her cheeks. Dave looks a little perturbed. Oh, holy shit. It's cool, Jade, no need to get so... like this. Kind of fucks me up seeing you cry. Not that I'm trying to make this all about me. I mean, Dave, you're doing a horrible job of comforting her. Jade, come here. I shall hold you in my arms. Rose walks over to Jade, extends her thumbs, and swipes them down Jade's teary cheeks in a stiff mechanical motion. Then she wraps her arms around Jade in an embrace that could generously be called a hug, but looks more like a precursor to an alien medical examination. John boggles at the display. None of you whack jobs know how to do this. Oh my god. Come here, Jade. Aw, thank you, John. Now, come on, everyone, let's go. And so the party begins. Tales told, movies watched, and fun had aplenty. So many shenanigans happen, so many. Perhaps someday you will recount them all in detail. But before you know it, the energy in the room has fled alongside the sun. The moon and stars cast their pale gaze upon four supine friends. Bundled up in sleeping bags and caught midway between slumber and wakefulness. Dave is rambling about some innate bullshit that nobody's paying attention to, and Rose is attempting, quite terribly, to lecture John and Jade on the modern reinterpretation of Lovecraft's work. You think it's about time you bowed out. It's not that you haven't enjoyed chumming it up with these kids, but you feel kind of weird sticking around overnight. You can come back later. Besides, you've got places to go and sights to see. There's an entire golden moon out there, full of potential friends that you knew nothing about before today. The universe beckons, and you are powerless to refuse. You give Beck a little nod, like, hey, take care of these kids. Beck doesn't nod back, because he's a dog, but you like to think he understands. As you quietly slip down the staircase and out of sight, you spare one last glance at the group and find a sigh escaping your lips. Everything that's happened here feels almost too good to be true. Can it last? Can this brazen wish fulfillment go unpunished? You find that hard to imagine. There's something fate touched about these kids. You can feel it in your bones, as surely as the wind whispers through the trees, or the stars dance through space. As surely as the turning clock will call the sunlight back again, these kids will never be free of the bullshit that hounds them. But right here, right now, they are at peace. They have shared this one perfect moment together, and perhaps in the future there will come more betwixt the chaos. And maybe that's enough. And honestly, that is a lovely picture right there. And that's the end of Jade's route, and technically the end of the Beta Kids full story. At least the Beta Human Kids. Next time, I will be going to Kanaya's route. Finally, because I've tried to say I'm going to Kanaya's route a couple times. So now, I'm going to finally get to it. But until then, I would like to thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please put a like on the video. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything I upload. And as always, I will see you tomorrow.